Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we basically proved that it was Emma that killed Prosecutor Marshall very much by accident. But that was also very much covered up, and now we have to prove that part of things. Oh boy. I don't like this. Defendant lobby number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Detective Gumshoe, surely he'll save the day. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, no! Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. I thought you got fired. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there is a break in today's trial. That's amazing. Oh, I can't look at it yet. Evidence law. Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. That like chicken on there is awesome. There's no 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. At least study some evidence law, really. You know, that's fair. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Oh. Explains the 2 rules of evidence law. Evidence law securely slipped into pocket. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. Hold on. Alright, let us read about evidence law. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. So basically... like, I don't understand how that's Edgeworth's fault, because he can't do anything unless the police department says that they can use it. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Interesting. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh?
Haven't you figured it out yet? Oh, I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me.
Mr. Edgeworth.
The real trial today hasn't begun yet.
What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death, and now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Ah, here we go. All right. Oh, here we are. It ends now. Probably. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
I was like, why would you bring that up now?
Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth the witness, but this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have,
struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over.
Oh God, no. The defense calls. Oh no. The time has finally come to bring out the real murderer. Oh, it feels way too early to bring in Gant. Uh-oh. I'll bring in the dead guy. That's probably smart. Alright, I gotta stop thinking game. And I gotta think. He's who I would call. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything?
As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Your name and occupation, sir.
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation.
So, you want to play hardball, eh?
Please, Mr. Gant.
Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto, what's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There's still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. Again, we're in open court, come on! You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony.
Cell9 incident. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. No, that's wrong!
Is that when Dark was arrested?
He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. Oh, come on!
I see, everything seems perfectly clear-cut.
If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. Hold it! As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right, I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that.
Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in the room?
I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. Interesting. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky.
What's this about a power outage?
Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. That's not funny. He's very cavalier about that. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and the serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved.
So that means you found the body near Lana's desk.
That's right. I think you said earlier, it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway. Had nothing to do with the forgery. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived in the office. That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. Moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down?
Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd be better off staring at that court record.
Worthy, always the smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. I think I know what I need to present. Oh, maybe not. Oh, right, maybe the piece of cloth could be it, but where would it go? I'm sorry, we slipped up. The power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I think it's here. Alright, I'm gonna try... piece of cloth. If you really had nothing to do with the forgery, then how do you explain this?
What's that? And what's that on it? A handprint?
Chief Gant, your explanation, please. I don't know, you tell me, son. Huh? My dear Righto, don't you know the second rule of evidence law? Uh-oh, not this again. Evidence law. Rule 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Tell me, how is this rag relevant to this trial?
It appears the defense was not prepared.
I guess it's too early to use this piece of...
Please accept my profound apologies, Chief. Would you mind giving the defense another chance?
Well, okay, I'll do it just this once, but only because you asked, Udgy.
Thank you. I assure you the defense is terribly sorry.
Yeah, sorry to nail you. Okay. What else do we got? Was the whole point of the book to prevent me from doing that? Did I, like, really mess up? What about the... Oh, what about the chart? That was found in the safe. Yeah, okay. Oops. Your Honor, that statement can't... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that yet. No, I did have the wrong statement. I got so excited. I hope I'm right now because I'm... there we go. I can't believe I did that. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
That's the blue badger you showed us earlier.
A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk.
It was found where?
You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation.
Oh. Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this?
Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery. Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto?
However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. I thought he got fired. Maybe I misunderstood.
Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Did you call Udgy a kid? Evidence and forgery. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. But that's... what?
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You do understand I'm chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh, indeed, I believe I'll press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
Alright, Udgy, in return, though.
I know, that place, right?
Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? Alright, let's just start pressing everything. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch, you big dumb idiot.
Mr. Wright, what are you saying?
Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later.
Later, what are you talking about?
What else? I'm talking about when Righto's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course, but suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. No, if they were found after Dark's convicted, then they're worthless. No. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient?
Right. The chief is talking about a possibility so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time.
Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Rido. Think about it. Maybe there is. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil?
I'm not sure I care for the word murder here, but in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye.
Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Ant isn't the one who murdered Prosecutor Marshall 2 years ago, yet I know he played a part in the forgery. Wait, oh. That can only mean someone asked him to be an accomplice.
Damon Gant, someone's accomplice? That sounds unlikely.
Alright, so we press that. I think I thought that it went back to the previous statement. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Really, Chief Gant, at the very least there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Though I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would of course be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh! The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Ho ho ho. Oh, that's a good one. Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of the SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway.
Be careful when pointing that finger, you might wind up being the one pointed at.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else.
Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Udgy, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little, huh?
By all means, please do.
There's nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? You think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again.
You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone.
Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised.
You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though.
Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Point out the accomplice. True, you might not have helped out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I meant.
Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped to forge evidence?
I mean, it would have been Lana. I think I know why he would help. So you're down a... I'm gonna present this and see where it leads me.
Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant?
I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. Yeah, so that basically made sure that like his, I'm guessing like his conviction rate or whatever would be like sky high. And that like she would go along with pretty much whatever he said. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all this?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets?
Yes, that's what we're saying.
Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive, to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I have done such a thing? Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof, this is all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture.
Unless, that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident, or which one would that be?
And of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What? Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That, impossible.
It's possible. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language.
It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now.
Looks like he's the one who's deciding to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. All right, then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
I think this is where we're gonna call it an episode. We'll have to figure that out next time. I'm gonna try really hard to finish this trial this week, even if the next couple episodes go a little long. But that's the goal. Try to get this wrapped up. Assuming that this is the end, I think it has to be. But I could, I could see it going on. I wouldn't complain. But yeah, we'll try to, at the very least, wrap up this day in court. Either in the next episode or the one after that is the goal. So hopefully you guys are still having a good time. I'm having a great time. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.